Yeah. It's the 1409 show. I go by the name of KT. We live in Atlanta, Georgia, out here with the lovely Rachel Raquel. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good, Ken. How are you?
All good. I know you was making fun of my name earlier, making fun of my accent, calling me Ken and everything like that. But you know that Southern twang. You know we got that Southern twang right
It's
here.
always good when we can have a little jokey joke about where we're from and embrace that.
Yeah. Speaking of where you from, can you let the people know where you from and what you do? A little bit about what you do.
Absolutely. Once again, I'm Rachel Raquel, and I'm from Philly. I'm a singer, a songwriter, and a philanthropist.
Already. So what was your upbringing like in Philly? You know what I'm saying? From when you was born to now. In life.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I gotta represent for Philly. It's an amazing major city. The things that are talked about about Philly are not always true, but it definitely is a city of brotherly love and sisterly affection. I grew up in, you know, I have the best of both worlds. I grew up, I had a really great upbringing. And like many people, things happen and life happens, before we are told by social standards that it should happen. When real life happens, paying bills, getting a job, making adult decisions before you did. So I got to live that and I got to see that, hard work pays off. And I learned those lessons through life experiences.
All right, so you had some interesting experiences through life. I'm guessing, yeah.
I mean, not sure if I would call all of them interesting, but definitely learned a lot from all of them.
Okay, for sure. So that makes you who you are today. For sure.
Absolutely.
All right. So what brings you to Atlanta, the city of Atlanta?
Well, I'm working with a new marketing and branding team, a new event promoter down here. So constantly people kept telling me that I need to get down to the A because the A is where everything is happening. And I had to come for myself. So here I am.
Out here in the A, and shout out to the team. You got a solid team behind you. I'm seeing everybody in here, man, showing love. Shout out to everybody. They can't see you,
Yeah,
but we can see you.
I know. We can see
I'm give
that.
y'all a round of applause.
Yes. I mean, that's the thing. Like people fail to realize that it's about a team. It takes a team.
Mhm.
It's, you can people I've seen people, make this thing happen on their own, but you know, you got to put the whole team on.
Most definitely, most definitely. How important is it for you to have those people that help you get in the right positions? How important is that to you?
Oh, 1000%. It's important. You know, I talked about this just before we started this podcast. People play different roles for different reasons. Some roles are support, some roles are more hands-on, but each role is important.
Big fact. So, when did you get into music? Because we know you're a recording artist, of course. That's why we're here. But when did you start finding your love for music?
Right. So found my love for music at 4 years old.
4 years old.
Yep.
You remember 4?
I remember 4.
Okay.
Yeah. I started singing in the church, not obviously because it's not obvious for everyone, but I started singing in the church with my mom and my sister. They were both on the choir and I was on the, kiddie choir. It was called the Sunbeam Choir. And my mom, she used to be in a group back in the day and she never got to live her dream because her grandmother, stopped her and was like, nah, you got to stay here and you got to learn how to cook and you got to get into the church. In those days, it was way more stricter because there were so many things going on in the world that we didn't know about because there was no social media to say, hey, there's nothing like that going on down here. Don't believe what someone told you. So yeah, I started at a real young age in the church and that's when I found my passion and my love for it.
Do you feel like you was the star of the Sunbeam?
I
You
was.
was a star.
I was. No, seriously. My mom, she's been this like over dramatic person. And I never forget we were about to walk in. I'm just this little kid walking with my little socks with the laces on the bottom and my little shoes. Just saw a pair of those shoes earlier. And my mom pulls me out the line and she says, now listen, when it gets to that part and it says who, you better put your hand on your hip. Now we're talking about in the church. Put your hand on your hip and roll your neck and say who I am. And I was like, okay. And I'm thinking like, I don't want to do this. But if I don't, my mom is going to make me do it somehow. And I did it. And then everyone in the church was like, oh my God, and of course, all the other children were like, told her to do that, my mama.
Like, who is this? Who tells you? So you your mom knew you was gonna be a star from early
Oh
on.
yeah, she know.
Man, shout out to moms out here, man. Yeah, for sure, for sure. So what was your favorite song to sing on the choir?
Oh, on the choir. So obviously it was the song that I had to say who. So it's the song was called "Tell 'Em I'm a Child of God." So it goes like, if anybody asks you who I am. So that was my line right there. So that was my favorite song in that choir to sing.
So you had to put that hand on the hip, let them
Hand
know.
on the
Yeah,
hip,
to let them know.
roll that neck, or it didn't exist.
Oh man, that's real. That's real. So were you singing at home outside of church at 4, or what
Yep.
was going
So
on? You was singing TLC or something?
no, you know what? This is so crazy. So my I am a product of a second marriage. So literally, like my father had had me by a younger woman. So he was way older and he was very, very strict. And I wasn't allowed to listen to certain music. I was only allowed to listen to classical and jazz and then like Motown, some oldies, but that was it. I wasn't allowed to listen to any current music. So it was gospel, jazz, Motown. That was it. I knew nothing else. My best friend to this day, the first time I ever heard a rap song was Jiggle What? Right? And I'm in the car with her and her brother, and they're taking me home. And I hear this song, and I'm like, what is that? And they're like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, oh my God. And I'm like, no, turn this up, please. And they're like, so my best friend is like understanding, like, my parents don't let me listen to that. But they're like, what? You don't hear this? Next day in the car with my dad, I'm like, hey, I need you to turn another radio station on. And he's like, which one? If you know the preset, I'll turn it on. I was like, I don't know. It was called Power 99. That's all I know. They just kept saying Power 99. And he's like, which is like one of the major radio stations in Philly. And he's like, I can't help you. But I was from that moment, I'm like, I knew I loved music because I wanted to hear more. I wanted to hear different genres, like different styles. It wasn't just the gospel, the classical, and the jazz and oldies for me. I needed it all.
So when you first got exposed to that Jigga What, did that make you want to rap too, or were you still like
It
on the
didn't
same?
necessarily make me want to rap, but it sparked my creativity because for years before I just knew to sing, the Ella Fitzgerald songs, the Nat King Cole songs, Carmen McRae, like those songs that people of my generation didn't even know. But that gave me something in me to make me want to just like start putting words on paper. Like even though they probably didn't make much sense then, it was my form of creativity.
Oh man, that's love. Yeah, you first got exposed to the Jay-Z song Jigga What. So would you say that's your favorite artist now as far as on the hip hop side?
It's hard to say. It's
It's
so
hard to
many
say.
great artists out there. Right now, Rachel Raquel is my favorite artist. I'm so high on life and energy and experiences. Like Rachel Raquel is my favorite artist right now.
Man, shout out to Rachel Raquel. Yeah, give her a round of applause. She's doing great things out here, man. So I know you have a single dropping soon, don't you?
Yes, 323, brand new, is dropping. I'm super excited and thrilled about this because this song was written by myself and a couple other people a few years back. And we never released it. Some things were going on. And, things happen for a reason because I feel like right now is the correct time for that song to come out. It's just so full of life and it's so R&B and we lack a lot of that. A lot of people feel like R&B is dead and I don't feel like it is. So I'm happy that, things took place the way that they did so that now I can release these songs and especially this song. This is one of my favorites. I've performed this song in so many different places. My fans actually love this song and they've been waiting for me to drop this song. So 32323 brand new on all streaming platforms.
Oh man, I wish I could hear it. I wish I could hear it beforehand.
I think we can. I think we can. I think we can drop a little bit of it.
Oh man, I wonder if tech support can make that happen. Let's see. Let me see what they got.
Okay.
Play it again. It's amazing how you knock me off my feet.
Can't believe it took so long for me to see. And you know better when we met. Your game was weak. Taught you how to be the man out in these streets. You know that I was the one that taught you how to get down and do it right. I was the one.
Yeah. We ain't gonna give them all though. You know, you gotta wait 323. You gotta get them streams up. Get them
Yep.
streams up.
Yep.
For sure.
Yep. 323.
Oh, we actually have a question from the audience. So you
Okay.
know, we're doing this live. So someone asks, Jacque Smith. He asks, "Do you believe that artists make their best music when they're going through things in life?"
Okay, so Jacque, that's an amazing question. I personally feel that songs are written on life experiences. So if you're going through something, it's one of the best experiences. It's the best time to get all that raw emotion out, and you're just not so pressed about how it sounds because you let that raw emotion drive. So yeah, absolutely. I think that when you're going through something, you can absolutely get your best emotions out and write an amazing song.
Yeah, most definitely. Appreciate everybody coming in the comments, asking questions. You know, if you ask questions, we may have the answers. If we don't have the answers, we're gonna find the answers. That's how we do it on 1409.
Hey.
How important is it for you to protect your intellectual property? You know what I'm saying? Handle things on the business side. I know you got to put in work as an artist, but as far as the business side, how?
It's important. I mean, I know that in social media, on the news, we've heard of people that have gone bankrupt and artists that have gone bankrupt and they didn't even know that it was happening because they had no involvement in any of it. Rights to their music, credits, royalties, things of that nature, because they allowed, someone to handle every aspect. I think that also goes back to what I tapped on earlier, team. It's important to have a team that you can trust from the beginning, team that, with me, with my team, I will put my sister in a situation where I might make her into a role because I trust her and I know that she has the capability to learn anything that I can teach her. So I keep my circle very tight. And if I had to put something in someone else's hands, I would trust that I know it gets done. But I do like to be involved in a majority of the things that Rachel Raquel has to do.
Yeah, for sure. We got more questions and comments. Michelle Tinsley, she says she's loving the jacket. Shout out to her, man.
Yeah, shout out to Michelle. Thank you, Michelle. We appreciate that.
Really. Then we got Fonzie in here. He's what motivates female artists now in 2023?
Wow. I mean, I feel that we are going through a season of supreme women empowerment, right? It's not hard to see. We can see it everywhere on billboards. So for so many years, women were told that they can't be this or they can't be that without someone doing it for them. And now we've proven that so wrong. Women are going back and get double and triple degrees and they're just doing it. They're owning it, and it inspires me. And I hope that the things that I do inspire other women, not just artists. But I feel that for an artist in 2023, it's like the time is now. We're in our season. So it's like get in, double dutch, jump in.
Yeah, man. You giving some great responses. You quick on your feet because you know what I'm saying. This is not rehearsed or anything. No questions given ahead of time. We just do this.
I did ask too. I said, "So what kind of questions you gonna ask me?"
Yeah, we
he was like, "No, it's off the top."
We straight off the dome on 1409.
Okay, shout out to 1409.
Yeah. Shout out to Fonzie for making this happen. We put this together a couple of weeks ago, and I'm glad to be here with you.
Yeah, I mean, it was amazing. Literally, I was on a call with my marketing team, and they were like, "I wish you can get down here because we would have, these things for you to do, and we can do this." And I'm like, you know what? I'll be there in 2 weeks. And they were like, "What?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'll be there in 2 weeks." And then I gave Fonzie a call, and I'm like, "Hey, I want to be down there in 2 weeks." Like, he's like, "What? Let's work." And I'm like, "Let's do it."
Yeah, connections out here, man. It's important to have those connections out here for sure, because you never know who might be sitting next to you or sitting in front of you, beside you, behind you, anything like that. It can be that person that gets you to the next level.
Absolutely,
for sure,
and vice versa.
Yeah. Much love out here in these streets. So 323, you dropping brand new. Can we expect any videos, anything with that?
Yeah. So my Primarily, I wanted to shoot this thing in Philly because, like I said, this record means so much to me. It means a lot to my fans. I wanted it to be a homegrown video, but the love that I've received here in the A, I want to do a scene here. So we will be shooting a scene of Brand New here, and it should be out soon. So you guys got to follow to make sure that you'll be in tune. So make sure you're on my website. I believe it's dropped below. I am RachelRaquel.com for updates, dates, and you'll know exactly when the video will be dropping.
Yeah. So being out here in Atlanta, how difficult is that for like the family? Are they really blowing you up, worried about you, or you feel like you all good?
Well, we're gonna go back to that thing I said earlier, team. No, the team is here, so there's nothing to worry about. Home is on the up and up always. So, it's about business, and this is about getting work done, and we'll be right back home soon.
Right back home real soon. Hey, for sure. And I see you shout out to the Power season premiere, Power Book 2 Go season premiere. What was that experience like for you?
Yeah, I mean, that was like fresh off of a plane straight to crew. Shout out to crew Alpharetta. That was definitely a lit time. It was amazing. We got to watch the premiere of Power Book and the new season, and it was great. I loved meeting all of the characters. Actually, some of the BMF stars were in the building as well. So it was pretty great to just sit and talk to these individuals. And I love to absorb knowledge from people. So when I talk to people, obviously when you see these people on TV, you're like, oh my God. But more importantly, I'm like, so tell me a little bit about this. Like, I'm super curious, and I feel that knowledge is that one thing that we can share with each other that doesn't cost anything, but it actually has a lot of value.
And I love that. I was glad to see you out there doing things, you know what I'm saying? And you was fresh out the plane, so I know you felt like the superstar that you are, fresh out the plane, going to a show season premiere.
Yeah.
What was your biggest takeaway from that premiere? I know you said you was tapping in with some of the actors from the show, but what do you feel like was your biggest takeaway?
Man, I can't even pinpoint one thing in particular. It was everything. It was just everything. It was the vibe of the people. I feel like they perceived me so well. Like when I walked in the building, it was like, they're like, oh my God, hi. And I'm like, I'm whoever, people that know me know that I'm a super duper nice person, right? I always say, oh my God, that's so amazing. And people think that I'm just saying that, but I say that because that's how I really feel. And I feel that I loved being in a space where people were super receptive of my kindness. So I loved everything about Friday night at the premiere. People were just nice. The bottle servers were nice. The people that were there were nice. The celebrities were nice. The people, the photographers, the videographers. I mean, I can't even imagine. I don't even know how many pages I'm on right now, because every time we turned around, there were like 8 cameras here, and here. But it was amazing. It was just it was an experience, and you had to be there.
It was lights everywhere, pretty much.
It was.
Yeah, I know some people feel like they have to wear shades because all of the lights, and they won't get caught looking crazy and things like that. So that's just something I've seen with a couple of people I've interviewed. They keep shades on at all times.
Yeah, I mean, it can become a little blinding. I did a podcast interview yesterday, and after staring towards the lights for a super long time, it gets a little blinding. So for me, I would wonder, like, why do people keep those shades on? But now I see why. But you just gotta, I got the lashes on. I can just look right through them.
And that's love right there. And so what can we expect from you in the near future? I know you have the single coming up, but what else can we expect from you as far as artistry, philanthropy, anything?
So I'm constantly working. People that know me know that I'm always working on something new. I'm always trying to make a change. I love helping my community. I've done it for so many years silently because I felt like I didn't need to make a public announcement of the good things that I was doing. I just felt that was a tad bit condescending, because I'm doing this stuff for better good, and I don't want to boast or brag about that. But now that I'm in a situation as an artist where I can bring more light and more funds to the people in the communities that need it the most, then yeah, I'm going to use that opportunity to make sure that the people that are underserved, the youth that are not being guided correctly or properly, however we should say, get those fundamentals that they need and get access to those resources that can help them be the best version of themselves.
All right, so helping out the community out there. Speaking of helping the community, we have another question. So, from your personal experiences, how would you describe female artists supporting one another in the
Oh.
music industry?
It's a dynamic that should definitely change. I hope that, with my kindness, I shed light on that. I'm all for helping individuals, especially females. I said this in an interview with Artist Weekly magazine, maybe back in October or November, that people will love me for why they love me, and they're going to love you for why they love you. And we can sing the same song, and they're still going to love your version for why they love it, and they're going to love my version for why they love it. So what is the purpose of us beefing?
There's too much money out here to be beefing with.
Right.
People.
It's so many avenues, it's so many markets, and like I said, like I use my power for a greater good. So if we can all get on that bandwagon, then I'm all for the team.
Yeah, well, I'm a strong believer. We say this all the time on 1409, but collaboration over competition. That's what we like to say in 1409.
I love that.
So basically, I say this all the time too. So you go on the bread aisle, right? There's all these different brands of bread, but at the end of the day, all those companies are still eating. They're in the same field making bread, but they still getting that money. So
Yep.
even if you're in the same female artists, they're saying they can still make money even though they're doing the same thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah, right next to each other, side by side, making
Right
money.
next to each other.
Yeah.
Holding hands.
Yeah, that's how we rocking out here. It's all about support. So shout out to Tony Yim in here. He's a big supporter of 1409.
Shout out to Tony M.
Yeah.
K1409.
Yeah. So what was your biggest performance, you say, like the one that made you the most proud? Because I know you have great performances out here.
So my biggest performance that has made me proud has been it was October. I want to say that it was back in October of 2022, and it was at the legendary SOBs in NYC. Shout out to SOBs. First time that I had done a large production show like that in a while. I had dancers. I had my whole BGV team with my background vocalists. My whole band was there, and it was something that I got a call about. I went to a gala for women's rights, and I met this A&R guy. Shout out to Zach at Major Stage. And he asked me, he's like, hey, like we have one slot left. Like, do you want to do this show? And I'm like, wow, it's in 3 weeks. Like, I don't know. It's going to be tight. But I got together with the whole team. Once again, when you treat people well, people receive you well. Got it together, and it was nuts. It was bananas. It was definitely the best show that I feel like I've put on. Like I said, life brings you many ups and downs. So between that time, I had some soul searching to do to really find out who I was. So when I hit that stage as not just little Rachel Raquel, but I hit that stage as, oh, that's a grown ass woman.
Big Rachel Raquel.
Big drip. Okay. But that's how I hit the stage that time. And it felt good. It felt good being on that stage, knowing exactly who I am, where I'm headed, and that everything that I put together, I had confidence in knowing that it came together well and it was received well, obviously.
3 week turnaround. See, I'm listening to what you're saying and I'm processing it. You said a 3 week turnaround. You had a 3 week notice, right?
3 weeks.
You had black background vocalists, a band, and everything. That's a lot of moving pieces.
And all new material.
How much rehearsal time went into that?
Wow. It was so intense. And it was crazy because the show fell like right around my birthday. So it was like husband's trying to plan for birthday in between like the rehearsals, my background vocalist and my band, and then my background dancers, they all couldn't get on the same scheduled date. So I had to do rehearsals with the dancers, rehearsals with the singers, rehearsals with the bands. Separately. Separately. And then it's like I was still working with my my coach. Shout out to Mr. Holly. He doesn't like to receive many accolades, but this man has been a tremendous person in my life. So it's no way in the world that I can do anything and not give him his flowers while he's here. But even working my stage coaching schedule with him, that's the part of it that I love, when I'm just super busy and I'm super motivated and I have so many things going on, but it all came together and it was amazing.
That's definitely amazing. That's a major milestone to perform at SOBs, right, in NYC.
Yep.
Man, that's a major right there. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm just admiring that. Look, you already on the right path already. You're gonna be. Speaking of that, where would you like to perform? What are some of the places you would like to perform? You know what I'm saying?
You know, there are so many beautiful places around the world, and I can't just pinpoint one where I would just want to be, but I want to be everywhere. I want to, like, right now I'm putting together some dates for a small tour. So, options are out there. So, hey, if y'all want Rachel Raquel to come to your city, then y'all know where to tap in at. Okay.
Drop your city in the comments if you want Rachel Raquel to come to your city. Joy, drop it in the comments ASAP. Drop it in the comments ASAP. Live.
Yes.
Yeah, man. It's been love out here for real. So what is something that people may not know about you that's interesting? What is one interesting fact about yourself?
Something that's interesting. I love cars. I'm a car fanatic. So that's something that people close to me know, but I'm a car fanatic. And actually, I heard that there's something like a Porsche experience here in Atlanta. And I'm hoping to get there. I drive stick shift, which is unheard of these days because some people don't even know what it is. But I love cars. I have a passion for cars.
Yeah, one about a year ago, I went to the Rick Ross car show out here in Atlanta, and that was a crazy experience.
Hey, what's up? It's your girl Rachel Raquel. Just finished an amazing podcast here at 1409 with my guy KT, straight out of Alabama. Super excited to be here. Thank you so much.
Hey, it's all love.
1409.
FFTV.